Okay, so in this video, I'll be sharing how you can book sales calls as a founder with LinkedIn through outreach and conversation. And so, really, I just want to be sharing the 3C approach that I like to use to do just this. And really, what we're talking about here is connect, chat, and convert. And I'm going to cover each of these stages in this video, so you want to make sure that you watch the end for this. So first of all, we have Connect. Now, with Connect, we're simply trying to obviously connect with the ideal clients on LinkedIn. Now, we want to do this because when people are a first connection, first of all, we can have a back and forth conversation, which is useful. However, the other thing as well is that they're also going to be more likely to see more of our content on their feed as well. So that's going to be really quite useful. And I believe when you first connect with someone, they're more likely to see that post in the first few days as well. So we want to make sure that we connect with them. Now, when we're doing this as well, obviously, when we connect with people, they're more likely to see the content on our feed, but they're also going to be, like another follower of us as well. So that can be quite useful. So what do we want to do with that? Well, first things first, you want to get Sales Navigator. Now, Sales Navigator is really quite useful because you're able to really hyper personalize and target your ideal client. Now, for your ideal client, you want to try and keep it as minimal as possible, but you want to be able to use Sales Navigator so you can do this. Now, usually I would send maybe 20, perhaps up to 30 connection requests every single day. And what I like to do is that at the end of every week, I like to make sure that I've maxed out my connections. And you'll usually probably come across a lock icon or something that will tell you to basically stop sending so many connection requests. And that's pretty much what you want to be able to do at the end of the week. Now, I believe you can send maybe between 100 to 200 connection requests a week. I'm not 100% sure on the number, but as long as you max out your connection requests by the end of the week, you're fine. Because all this is going to do, really, the whole idea with Connect is that you can get in front of your ideal client. That's the whole concept of this. You can get right in front of your ideal client and they can see you and come across you. And if you think about it, right, let's say, for reference, we sent, say, 100 connection requests, which bearing in mind, when I say connection request, I mean no note connection requests. I don't like to send connection requests with a note unless it's, someone that's viewed my profile or whatever, and I want to connect with them. But other than that, don't worry about sending it with a note anyway. Now, bearing in mind, if your profile is optimized, you will get higher acceptance rates, and that's really going to be useful. If you're a bit confused on how to optimize your profile, I do have a video on this, I believe, on my channel. I might leave it below for you to actually look at as well. Anyway, so let's say we send 100 connection requests, right? A good acceptance rate is probably looking at around about like maybe 30% acceptance rate. And the thing is that if you can get in front of 100 people, and if even just say like a handful of them looked at your profile and thought, oh, yeah, this is something I need, right? This is something that could benefit me, then they're obviously going to accept it. And then when you start that conversation, they're going to be more open to then having, say that sell by chat process when you're chatting with them. So you can see how this can be quite useful as well. And I mean, if you can really like hyper personalize and target your list on Sales Navigator, going to make this much easier. And this should only take 10, 15 minutes a day, right? You can literally start your day, send the 20 like connection requests like without a note on Sales Nav, and you're done, right? It's pretty much you're done. That's that. And that's all you really need to worry about in terms of connecting. But it's a very important part because you want to try and get in front of as many people as possible. But now that their first connection, at the very least, they might be more likely to see your content. And if they see your content, then they might then sort of feel more nurtured by you and then want to work with you in the future. So that's really the first thing. Then we have chat. So now that we've connected with them, now we want to start that conversation. Now, when we're starting the conversation, like I said before, we want to try and, well, I mean, if we can start conversation, we can start conversation with people we just chat with. That's going to be really useful. And the reason why is because they have seen us before, right? Right. They've seen us before. They've seen our profile or whatever it might be, right? They've seen this before. Perhaps they've even seen some of our content as well. And this is good because it means that if we do try and start a conversation, they're probably going to be a bit more open to chatting and being responsive because they've seen this before, right? So it just feels more natural. which is why, although cold DMs do work on LinkedIn, they're not as effective because they haven't seen us before, right? In that case, or at least they've only just seen us now, which is still a bit skeptical. So you can see how obviously that is, going to be having a pretty big impact as well. So when we can do that now, it's not just say the people that we just connect with, right? People that we also want to message, already set conversations with, will be people that have viewed our profile. The profile viewers will obviously, like I said before, the connections. You also want to look at people that have maybe followed you as well, so followers, and even people that engage with your content as well, right? So you've got about four different types of people you can reach out to. And you can find all of those on your LinkedIn profile as well. So it's all very easy to reach out. Now, I usually like to call these intent-based leads because these are people that have intentionally made the first move in some sort of way, right? The first move towards you. So in my eyes, this is like, oh, I'm just responding to their first action, right? So it feels more natural for me when I go and do this. So that's really the first thing as well. And just be able to start this conversation. Now that we've found these people, how do we start that first conversation? Well, I don't want you to overthink it, right? Now, you could copy and paste a template or whatever. And I've seen people copy and paste big templates to me when I connect with them. And I tell you what, I don't like it. It doesn't give me a good impression. And it just, like it just feels like it's something that's sent to everyone. And if it's something that feels like it's sent to everyone, then it doesn't feel like like it's there for me. And if it's not there for me, then I don't want to read it, right? So, what I always like to do is just simply focus on sending them a compliment. Obviously, you want to make this personalized, but usually I try and make it a compliment about something about them, their content, whatever it might be. And it might be as simple as, hey, name, thanks for connecting, saw your post on X, and then something personalized or your own opinion on it. That's all you need to do. Because what this is gonna do is this is just gonna show that you're a human, right? You're acting like a human, you're not just copy and pasting stuff. And, they're gonna, well, to be fair, because you complimented them, the only thing they can really do, or the thing that they should do, is just say, hey, thanks, right? And that's all you're looking for. You're just looking for a response from this first message. Because that's all we wanna do. We just wanna compliment them and try and keep that personalized. So once we've done that, right? So once we've sent those connection requests and those are out, and once we started those conversations with those intent-based leads, now we want to figure out, well, how can we convert them, right? And when I say convert them, I'm not saying we're trying to convert all of them because that just doesn't work, right? And what you'll find is you'll have two different types of people. You have people that don't have a problem, but you have people that do have a problem. And all we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out, do these people have a problem? However, you can't just directly go and ask that. Well, you could, but you probably wouldn't get a good response. So you want to try and ask questions that are going to help you identify if they do or if they don't have a problem. And usually, one of the good ways I like to do this is by asking, no, that's not a G, is asking more about their goals. That's usually the best way you can go about doing it. And the funny thing is, right, in this whole process, when we've connected with them, when we started that conversation, we're now getting into chat. I want you to realize that people aren't stupid. Because the thing is, like, especially for my case, right, when I send someone a message, they are going to probably look at my profile, right? They're going to look at my profile and they're going to see my headline. And my headline, it literally says, well, at the moment, I help service based founders sign clients with LinkedIn. Simple as that. And so when I'm in the messages with them and they see that headline here, they're obviously going to be like, that's why he's messaging me, right? You're like, it's pretty obvious. However, and then again, we're not trying to hide this, right? We're not trying to hide this and, be a bit deceptive, right? People kind of know when you do send them that message. So all it is a matter of, well, do they trust us, right? Do they trust us? Do they trust us? And are they open to having this conversation? Which is why if we ask them about their goals, if they're, like if they know why we're here and what we do and how we could help them, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to tell us goals that are completely irrelevant. Yeah, there we are. They're going to tell us goals completely irrelevant. So for example, someone might tell me something about they want to spend more time with family or I don't know, whatever. That's great. And the thing is, if they tell me something that's completely irrelevant, I will just pretty much look to finish up the conversation there and wish them farewell and good luck with that. Simple as that. However, the other side is that people will tell me a goal that is in relation to what I can help them with, right? In relation to, say, my service, right? I'll put a two there so it makes sense. In relation to my service, aka it's going to be a goal which I can help them with, right? It's something that I can help them with. And this is good, right? And because what this is going to do is this going to be like, okay, this person is open to chatting like with me about this. And if you get this response here where they share a goal which you can help them with, which for me, sometimes I've had people that will like say when I've had a conversation and I asked about their goals, they were like, "Oh yeah, I want to sign 3 to 5 more clients by the end of the year." Right. So and for context, I asked them hey, you can see you've been doing your business for X amount of years because I can see that in the experience section. And then I basically ask, curious to know what your focus is or what your goal is for the end of the year. And bearing in mind, I'm recording this in October, so it made sense, right? And they basically like I had a good few people that just tend to respond saying, hey, I'm looking to sign clients or I'm looking to sign 3 clients by the end of the year. And the thing is, when they share that, I'm like, okay. So they do have a problem I can solve, which is great. And so then it's simply a matter of asking questions more, right? Well, or asking more questions. That's what I meant to say. So asking more questions that help us better understand the situation. Now, that said, now that we know they have a problem, we don't want to drag this out for too long. 'Cause I found that quite a few of the conversation which I've actually taken to then booking a sales call, there wasn't that much back and forth stuff as well. And I mean, I've been there, right? I've been there doing loads of back and forth messages, and it just got a bit stale. But that said, we do want to make sure we ask some questions. So, for example, if they've shared a goal, I might ask them a bit more about, say, how they're getting on with it. I might ask them more about, say, like what they're doing so far. I might even ask, say, why they're not there yet. Right, just those sort of questions that are going to help me better understand the situation and get them to share more. Right, if they're more open, like to me, then that's going to be easier for me to then understand more about the situation. And then from there, really it's a matter of okay, well, if you're asking more of those questions, understanding what their problem is, why they're dealing with it, see why it's important to them, and just a bit more about them, then really it's a matter of just suggesting a call. And for this, don't try and make this a really dodgy thing, right? Really, all you want to do it just suggests a call, which could literally be along the lines of hey name, this seems like a good idea, or it seemed like it would be a good idea for us to connect on a call and just chat more about this, right? Could be a simple something like that, or maybe it could be something like, hey, if you'd like, I'm happy to hop on a call where we can just sort of chat more about this, and I can maybe share a few things that I'm doing for my clients, and and I might also look to share if or how I could help you or whatever. Right. Now, obviously, depending on how you phrase it, you also need to make sure you deliver on that in the call, right? Don't share like you're gonna share things that you do for your clients. And then on the call, you proceed to take the full sales call and don't share that. So you want to obviously make sure how you phrase it is how the approach you're going to take on the call. But that said, it's not a complicated process. It's not a dodgy process as well. So if we just have a quick refresh of what we've covered so far. First, we connect with them because connecting with them is going to get us in front of those ideal clients. Sure, right? We've obviously got content going out, and we might even be commenting. Probably not, but we've obviously got content going out. But connecting with ideal clients specifically will help us make sure we are getting in front of the right people. Then we have chatting. We have starting the conversation. And this is simply going to be chatting with those intent based leads that have viewed our profile, that have connected with us, that have followed us, or even engaged with our content. Gathering those people and then starting that conversation, which usually will just be sending them a compliment. Something along the lines of, hey, name, thanks for connecting. saw your post on X, and then something complimented about that, right? Now, it doesn't have to be in that format, but it's just a simple format that you can follow. Then it's a matter of converting. Now, really, with this converting section, all we're trying to do is figure out, do they have a problem or not? And if they don't have a problem, so say by this, we're trying to look at their goals, right? If they share a goal that is completely irrelevant to how we could help them, then we know, okay, they're probably, well, they either don't have a problem we can solve, or they're just simply not open to talking to us about it. And we can't really do much about that other than pretty much say, hey, good luck with that, and say something nice, and then leave the conversation there. However, if they do have a problem and they share a goal that we can help them with, then it's just a matter of asking a few more questions. Going to better understand their situation, what they've tried before, and such. And then all we're going to do is just simply, like as open as you like, just basically then suggest a call to chat more about it. Now, you can phrase that however you like, whether you're going to phrase it in the sense of, hey, would be great to connect like on a call and just chat more about this, or whether you want to do something else with it as well. But the whole idea is that this process shouldn't take that long, right? It shouldn't take that long. You should be able to pre-qualify people that don't have a problem. It might take you a bit longer in terms of, say, people that do have a problem, chatting a bit back and forth. But all you're trying to do is just get them onto call to chat more. Because when you can get people onto a call, that's when you're going to really start making a bit more progress in terms of being able to really pre-qualify them and see if they're a good fit for you. But overall, that is the process I would use when it comes to you like using outreach in the DMs to book more sales calls with LinkedIn. Now, if you're looking for more support with this, I do have a free like school community that helps service-based founders like you be able to do just this. However, if you're looking for one-to-one support, then I do offer one-to-one coaching that you can also see in the description below on my website. But with that being said, hope you enjoyed this, and I'll chat soon.